this place called Adrian's, which I might sometimes call Anton's because the guy's name is really Anton, but I felt like it was important to switch his name to Adrian in the essay, but, well, the secret's out. But I'm going to call him Adrian. I think the reason, there's nothing sadder when you go into a restaurant, there's nobody there, you know, it's just empty and you're eating, and this sort of desperation of the people that work there, or the owners, I should say. It's just, you're sort of watching somebody drown in real time, and that was kind of maybe the experience of my first job. And so, yeah, I'll go into it now. I'm halfway through my first ever shift at Adrian's when the man himself, Adrian Chin, starts showing me the photographs of the New Orleans prostitutes. 5 or 6 Polaroids that he keeps hidden under the cash register. Adrian came to our small Louisiana town from China or maybe Hong Kong. He speaks with a thick accent. "Look here," he says to me, "these are my girlfriends." In the photographs, no one is having sex or anything. No one is naked even. It's just picture after picture of Adrian sitting in a bubbling hot tub with a bored-looking white woman. John had warned me that this might be coming. John's my best friend. It's the summer of 1991 and we're 15 years old. This is the first job for both of us. For Adrian's grand opening, John had worked the lunch shift, and when I came in at 5 o'clock to relieve him, he was waiting for me in the parking lot. The restaurant sat on the east side of a busy 4-lane highway. There was a nightclub in this building once, back when I was in grade school, but then years of nothing before the red, white, and blue sign for Adrian's, home of the Texas burger, went up like a big steel pine tree. Before the summer was out, Adrian's would close, but I'd be pushing 30 before that sign finally came down in a hurricane. In the parking lot earlier, John had seemed shaken after his first day on the job. He smelled like beer and cigarettes. "Dude," he said, "this place is so fucked up, you'll see." Cars zipped past on the highway and some girls we knew honked at us but kept on. "Well, we can drink," said John. "What do you mean, drink?" I asked. "I mean, there's draft beer and I guess we can sip off it all we want." "Come on." "No shit, video poker too." "Cool." "Yeah," said John, "I guess." "Any customers? Was it busy?" "Not at all." John pointed towards the sprawling office park on the other side of the highway. "I just got back from over there," he said. "The dude had me sticking flyers on windshields." But back to those photographs. Before he left, John had told me about them too, and as it turns out, these Polaroids are pretty much all the same. Only the women are different. Blondes, brunettes, a redhead, I think. And maybe they aren't prostitutes at all, though I don't know why any of them would be hot tubbing with Adrian. I don't think to ask who's holding the camera and documenting all of this. I'm just a shy teenager. I don't have a critical mind. Adrian stabs one of the women in the face with a blunt finger. He's a half-foot shorter than me, but he seems powerful, wiry like a boxer, an aging but cheerful welterweight. He's always smiling. "This one sucked best," he says. I feel like he's showing me pictures of dead people. "Okay," I say. "For the past hour, we've been drinking Miller Lite from styrofoam cups, and all of my gas money is now sealed inside his video poker machines. So far, my first day of work has been a wash." Adrian's putting the Polaroids back under the register when the bells on the door jangle and an old couple shuffles in. These will be our first customers this evening, though we've had some close calls. A few cars doing an idling lap in the parking lot before finally pulling back out onto the highway. A man who pressed his face against one of the windows, mirror-tinted windows. The building's mirror-tinted windows, but they never came in. The old couple sits at a table near the parquet dance floor of the long-ago nightclub, apparently not understanding that they're meant to order from Adrian up at the counter. Adrian and I watch them. We smile, but they just stare back at us like cows. A note here on Adrian's business model. There are no menus at Adrian's per se, just a chalkboard behind the counter that lists about 30 different kinds of hamburger. Cajun, Mexican, Italian, Japanese, and on and on. For some reason, there is no Chinese hamburger. Instead, our specialty is something called a Texas burger. It comes with bacon, cheese, and mushrooms. Not chili or even barbecue sauce, just mushrooms. So at Adrian's, after you, the hypothetical customer, make your selection of hamburger and pay, Adrian clips a scribbled piece of paper onto a sort of zipline contraption and sends the order winging into the kitchen. There your hamburger will be prepared by an overweight ex-Navy sergeant who enjoys classic rock and keeping to himself. And 10 minutes or so later, after your hamburger has traveled from the kitchen to the window to the counter, Adrian comes out, calls out your name, and you come on up. My primary role in this ballet is to keep the burger bar stocked with lettuce, tomatoes, onions, etc., as well as to bus tables, always remembering not to throw away the red plastic baskets. The hamburgers at Adrian's are actually pretty good, but as the summer plays out, it will soon become apparent that the problem with the place is that it suffers from a crisis of identity. Put simply, people don't want to pay Applebee's prices for McDonald's service. And then there's the dance floor and the video poker machines, the stale smell of cigarettes and booze that has lingered for over a decade, the drunken busboys. And so no one knows what to make of Adrian's, and I'm sure that's why in the end these two old folks we were studying on do not, in fact, become our first customers of the night. Adrian sends me over to tell them that they should come and order at the counter, and the grandmother looks scandalized. "Oh," she says, "I thought this was more of a sit-down place." "No, ma'am," I say. "I mean, you can sit down, but you have to order and pay up there." I try to strike a compromise with them. "But I can bring your hamburgers out to you when they're ready," I tell her. But of course, then they'll have to go dress those plain hamburgers themselves at the burger bar. But I don't mention that. I'm afraid that news might kill her. The old man chimes in now. "All y'all have is hamburger sandwiches," he says. "Yes, sir." He starts to say something else, but his wife puts her hand on his arm. "I think we'll just try here another time, sweetie," she says. "We were looking for something a little nicer tonight." And then they're out the door. I go back to the counter and apologize to Adrian. I feel like I've failed him. But he just lights a cigarette, and I do the same. We're standing there together, smoking in silence, thinking, when a little white sedan with a flashing yellow siren comes speeding into the parking lot. It's the security guard from the office park where John had been pinning down flyers earlier. I'd find that out. Something thumps down on the blacktop, and then the car is gone. Adrian hurries out from around the counter, and I trail after him. It's almost dark outside, but still very hot. He opens the door, and the Louisiana heat washes over me like bathwater. A paper shopping bag is sitting there waiting for us, like a bomb or something. Adrian peers inside the bag and then mutters something in Chinese. "What is it?" I ask. "Nothing," he says. "Go inside. Someone might call." But it's too late. I've already snuck a peek. I see a high stack of red, white, and blue flyers. There must be hundreds and hundreds of them. And every last one of them has been cut in half. I see them and I wince. Adrian takes the bag around back to the dumpster, but when he reappears, he doesn't come and join me inside right away. Instead, he walks to the edge of the empty and darkening parking lot, and for a long while I watch him as he stares out at the highway, a doomed man for all the world to see. Thank y'all. Appreciate it.